So what do we got? Is anything new and interesting going on for an intro here?
Absolutely not.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, the unfortunately long Last Jedi.
So long.
Too long.
It's a very long movie. I sat down, I put on the podcast episode from last rotation while I watched it at 9:30 in the morning, and I believe at the end of it I put in our Discord, it's a hot take and I apologize for it or bringing up the issue, but this movie is arguably too long.
I don't think you need arguably in there. Like, it is.
So that was the joke, Ben.
All right. Well, I see how it
Arguably
is.
too long.
Arguably too long.
Because, I think we've said that almost every time we've come back to this movie on this podcast.
At least for the last 7 or 8 rotations.
Yeah.
Ben, how's your watch?
I really dislike the fact that Star Wars movies exist. It occasionally pops in my head like, hey, you have to watch Star Wars soon, and I just get very unhappy about it once in a while.
I am constantly aware, because it's like, I have to edit Star Wars soon. I have to edit more Star Wars soon. I have to watch Star Wars soon. I have to record Star Wars soon. I think this is also why, I can't even consume any side content anymore, because I do the watching and I do the editing, and it's like a lot of Star Wars in my week.
That's fair.
Chris, how's your watch?
I've had a long week at work, and all I could think of as I was watching this movie was that I could be completing other tasks, and that's usually not a good basis for a watch.
Honestly, I've had that feeling a lot lately, where it's just like, wow, I really could be doing a lot of things right now.
But hey, that's all right, because next rotation, pretty fucking excited about it. I'm gonna have an easier time watching because I'll be doing my watches at night, because I'm gonna watch all of the fucking movies with my wife. It's gonna be the
that's dope.
first time she's gonna go through a full rotation with me.
That's dope as hell.
So that'll be fun. She's really not looking forward to it.
Then why is she doing
She's
it?
just as excited as we
She's like-
are.
She's like, I don't want to watch. Well, she was like picking and choosing. She's like, well, I kind of want to watch the originals, and I want to watch Revenge of the Sith, of course. She's like, but I hate Phantom Menace. I don't like the second one. I was like, well, nobody does, but you just watch them because it's part of the sequence, Like,
What are you talking about? That's your favorite movie.
yeah.
Jay, I love you.
Jay, how was your watch?
Oh, like I said, it was long, and I was there, and I had to listen to my drunken self from 9 weeks ago. So I was very drunk that episode. So when I say I'm drinking like a Coke and whiskey, I have a giant cup. I'm never meant to have more, so it's basically 2 mixed drinks in one. And I had a whole mixed whiskey and Coke before that. So I had 2 of those, and whoo boy. Actually, no, pretty much every episode I had 2. That night I had 3. So that's how my watch went. I had to listen to my stupid drunken ass try to talk about reality and Star Wars and the angels and shit. And every time it got to that part, which is like the 4th time I've heard that part, by the way, because I had to edit that episode twice last rotation. I was just like, I'm miserable. I'm miserable listening to this shit. So it was not a good watch, but, at least I got it out of the way early in the day rather than halfway through or something.
I had a crazy ass work week this week, and I was just like, it was Thursday this week, and I was just like, the last thing I'm gonna feel like doing when I get home is watching goddamn Star Wars. So I was at work with Star Wars playing on my phone for the first time in like months. Just because like I got to a point and I was just like, fuck it, you know what? I'm just gonna be entering numbers into a computer for the next like 2 hours. I might as well just have Star Wars playing while I do that.
This movie was really like a Star Wars Rude Awakening this week because last week.
At this point, it's a rude awakening.
Well, last week in this, in our current time, Star Wars Celebration was still going on. And so, like, there was just a lot of, like, goodwill for Star Wars out there. And, nobody was really talking shit about Star Wars except for idiots. And, it was all, like, really positive, happy Star Wars stuff. And then Obi-Wan this week was really good. It was the week of the third episode. So I was just kind of riding a Star Wars high, and I was like, yeah, everything's great, Star Wars, yay! And then Last Jedi hit me like a fucking Mack truck.
Yeah. I watched Kenobi on Wednesday when it came out, because I know if I fall behind a week, I will have to rush and get them done right before we record that episode that's already out. And that day I was also going to watch Last Jedi, and by the time I was done with Kenobi, I was like, that was a good episode of Kenobi. I'm not watching Last Jedi today. I can't do it.
That is more than enough Star Wars for one, Jay.
The extra hour of Star Wars. Kenobi, I think probably when the episode comes out, I'm going to be like, very good show. Not good enough to make me watch that and a Star Wars movie in the same day. That's too much Star Wars for the good old Jay.
Kenobi is funny too because like a lot of people I know like when normal human beings who don't watch Star Wars once a week in 9-week rotations, every once in a while you'll do like a big like movie series binge, and people have been adjusting that since Solo came out and since Rogue One came out. I feel like Obi-Wan's gonna really throw a curveball in that where people are now these psychos are gonna watch 1, 2, 3. Rogue One. No, yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Kenobi,
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
No, it'd be Rogue One.
No, Rogue
Yeah,
One.
yeah,
Rogue
Kenobi.
One.
Yeah,
Rogue One.
Kenobi will be right after Revenge of the Sith now. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, so it'll be Kenobi, and then
Well, no, it's gonna have to be.
It's Solo's for Rogue One, right? Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be 1, 2, the Clone Wars.
Well, I don't think that.
Kenobi doesn't
I'm
count.
talking like movies and limited series. Kenobi counts because it's 6 episodes. It's not 7 seasons of a full series.
Hey, we don't know if there's going to be a Kenobi season 2 because apparently they're greenlighting supposobly a Hawkeye season 2, even though they promised they wouldn't do that. So
I heard a rumor that they greenlit season 2, but I cannot substantiate that. So
I really didn't think there was going to be a season 2 because Ewan McGregor is not exactly a TV actor, so they must be paying a pretty substantial.
Yeah, but the way Disney is doing these series now, I don't think it matters anymore. I think you have to take that out of the equation. Yeah, I mean, the landscape of TV in general has changed to such an extreme degree the last few years.
Yeah.
Fucking Harrison Ford's going to be in the new Yellowstone spinoff.
Oh, yeah, no, I did know that. I was all going to be like, what?
I mean, it's just, TV is a completely different landscape these days. It's, and honestly, it's a medium I prefer to movies at this point, because even if it's only a six episode event or whatever the fuck, that's at the very least a 6-hour version of something that would otherwise be like an hour and a half, 2.5 hour movie,
I don't know. That might be too much for Ben.
More content is more content. I don't know.
It's
like the most recent season of Stranger Things. It was 7 episodes or whatever, but they're like hour and a half to hour and 40-minute long episodes each. So
I've never watched an episode of Stranger Things, but I'm glad Vecna's out there more. I love me some Vecna.
I think you would really dig Stranger Things for the same reason
bet I
I
would.
dig it.
I know my mom watched it. My mom, 2 years before she passed, just watched a lot of Netflix, like so much Netflix. And I know my mom liked the show, so maybe at some point I'll check it out.
But is Stranger Things Vecna like actually Vecna, or is it like how they did the Demogorgon, where it's like it's the same in name only?
They give a D&D name but they're usually similar to the thing, you know.
Yeah,
they're-
it's
Okay,
like-
it's not usually totally off base.
It's not like,
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's not like, oh god, what was the name of that show? It took all the fantasy characters and put it in like a small fucking town.
Wasn't that Once Upon a Time or
Once Upon a Time, yeah.
yeah?
It doesn't seem like Once Upon a Time where it's like, all right, here's
No.
Rumpelstiltskin, one of the heroes of this story.
No,
Oh,
it's basically
God.
a bunch of nerdy kids who play D&D who are being confronted with
Yeah.
horrific other dimensional creatures, and they're rationalizing with what they know and being like, hey, it's kind of like that, you know?
Oh, our D&D one shots.
Yeah. You know, it's great. I think both of you would really dig Stranger Things.
I don't know. That
It's
would
gonna be
require
over
Ben to sit
in July
down
when the
and-
next part of this season comes out, so I would recommend waiting until then. Just watch the whole thing.
That would
Well-
require Ben to sit down and watch something that's, more than 2 hours. 2 hours is very hard for Ben.
As long as I'm not sitting there for like 2 hours in a row watching it, I'm fine. Like I can watch an episode or two at a time
So,
and then just like
Ben,
walk away.
Do you just not do like TV show binges or anything?
I try and I get like a couple episodes in and my ADHD is like, you got to go do something else, dude. Like this is fucking boring.
We hit the weekend, and that's like
This
all my
is
wife
fucking-
and I do. It's how we relax. We just watch. I mean, fucking Christ, nice insight into my life outside of Star Wars. We just went back and rewatched all of fucking Gilmore Girls while we were sitting here, and I was
Oh
on
my
paternity
God.
leave.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm afraid to rewatch that show. I don't think I've seen every episode either. But
I enjoy that show, as weird as it probably sounds from who I am as a person, but I enjoy that show.
this
It's,
isn't even the
no,
first time we've brought up Gilmore Girls on this podcast, by the way.
It's kind of fun. The writing is nice and witty. It's quick, it's good. There's some pretty blatant homophobia kind
Well,
of
that's the thing,
sprinkled
yeah.
throughout that doesn't hold up great in the year 2022, but
Yeah, that checks out.
This isn't even the first time we've brought up Gilmore Girls on this podcast.
what haven't we brought up on this podcast at this point?
That's a good point. We're
Well, we
two
talked about
episodes
50
away
First
from
Dates.
we're 2 episodes away from our 100th episode, so we just
Christ.
Damn.
Any
But-
I need a life.
anything from Star Wars: The Last Jedi that stuck out to you this rotation?
Nope. Nothing sticks
Um,
out anymore.
So I noticed something that I haven't noticed before. I had a mission going into this watch,
Oh.
and the mission
Oh.
was to find the small grandma. This small grandma that I noticed for the first time when we were doing the live watch throughs, and she exists. She is a part of the bridge crew and presumably dies when the bridge is ruptured.
Wait, but wasn't your whole thing about how she was on Canto Bike gambling?
No.
That's what you were like. I love that
You
they
are-
paid attention to detail and there's casino grandmas.
Ben, you're talking about a completely different thing that I talked about, like, in the second rotation.
That was definitely last rotation.
Ben,
don't-
I
no,
just listened to the Last Jedi episode.
that
It was
was-
definitely not.
I remember it was the bridge crew, because I remember it. I remember Jay being horrified at like, why is this grandma on the bridge crew? And then everyone fucking dies, and
that.
Jay was
What
the only
you're
one who mourned.
I
this one.
remember this too, but I could have sworn
You're wrong. You're very
podcast
wrong.
has melted whatever was left of my brain.
Like, that's something like I brought up while I was doing the special features, which is second rotation,
Come
which
on,
is
we all know-
2020.
We all know my brain doesn't comprehend time.
Ben, it was 2020.
My time doesn't exist, Jay.
You're right,
My
time
brain
doesn't
has
exist
no
anymore.
concept
You're right.
of time.
You're right.
Look, time
doesn't
is a
exist.
flat circle, and it's lost all meaning to me. I get it. And having a kid, I don't know what day of the week it is anymore.
I'll
Yeah,
be talking
that's
to
fair.
people and I'll be like, yeah, just like a couple months ago in like 2015, and they'll be like, Ben.
Oh, you're not old enough yet to be at the point where
No.
high school wasn't a couple of years ago. Once you hit 30 and you're like, fuck, it's been 10 years since I was in high school.
It's close to that.
You're 25.
Yeah, I graduated high school 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's damn close to 10.
I've been out of high school since 2012. It's been
10 years. 12 years on this side. Very exciting. But the entire bridge crew I noticed in this watch that right before it ruptures is all old hats. It's all like older people. Like the entire bridge crew is like 60 and above when that thing gets ruptured. So it's like everyone that gets like pushed out into space are all the senior officers that were like rebel, like
That were there since
veterans.
The rebellion.
Yeah, I noticed that in this
sense.
watch. I didn't notice until now.
It makes sense that would be the bridge crew. I mean,
which also explains why Holdo was in charge, because it seemed in the movie that she wasn't exactly the first choice, and she wasn't the first choice because everybody got spaced.
I don't know. I thought the way it was portrayed was that like she was pretty high up.
She was the most high up of the officers that were not on the bridge.
That's true.
Because if like Leia went down, you have to assume Akbar was next, but Akbar died on the bridge, and you can just kind of see
So I remember all the fanboys freaking out, like, they killed Akbar with no, like, fanfare. And I'm like, Akbar literally has 10 minutes in another movie, and that's it.
Yeah, but if you're talking to EU hats, unfortunately, there's a lot
I get the expanded universe, there's a lot going on, but, like, the average person who's just like, oh, another Star Wars movie, I'm not gonna give two shits about a fucking squid getting chucked into space.
I have a lot of fun. No, the not squid, fish.
No, I know.
Because the other race on the
octopus.
The other race is the squids.
The Quarren. I know, octopus. I was making a funny joke. I was being silly funny.
I have a lot of fondness for Admiral Akbar, war criminal, unfortunately.
Oh, I mean, me too, but like, I'm not gonna flip shit because they chucked him out of an airlock or whatever. My brain is really turned off today. I need to preface this. If y'all couldn't notice. But like, yeah. They're just like, we don't need these guys anymore, and so they just had Kylo Ren blow them up in space.
I wonder, like, if that was a conscious decision that Ryan made while doing this movie.
1000%.
If it was like, I'm gonna kill Admiral Akbar just on the bridge, just kind of, just get rid of him.
Oh yeah. Ryan. You also don't really accidentally kill a character like that. Like,
no, Ryan was well aware of what he was doing. The entire, more than the two other movies around it, the entire movie was like, all right, Young gotta lead now. Like, that was what he was going for the entire time, except for the weird Holdo story. Again, the Holdo story does not work in this movie, but...
Well, it's because that was supposed to be the hurdle that Poe has to get across to become.
It just does not work with the rest of the movie, because the entire message of the rest of the movie is trying to give the torch to the new generation, and then just Poe is like, no, you can't have the torch because you're not.
No, this movie has two conflicting fucking messages. Mm-hmm. It has, the old ways must die, the passing of the torch, all this and that, and then it has the no, listen to the older generation, do what you're told, just don't question it, just fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, God, it's so fucking bad. It's
so
fucking bad.
Every part of the rest of the movie is I don't know if Let Old Things Die is like the message of the movie, because it does kind of wrap it up in a way that is trying to say, not necessarily, but it's time for the new generation to take over. But everything about the Holdo storyline just fucks it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the worst plot in the movie. It just throws the message off so fucking hard.
Yeah.
This movie is a train wreck in terms of messaging and theme.
Well, it sucks. Like, it really sucks with how good everything else has been. Like, Mandalorian has been fucking awesome. Book of Boba Fett was better than I expected. Obi-Wan.
A lot of people
Kenobi's been
hated
great.
Book of Boba Fett, like after it wrapped up and everything. A lot of people were really like unhappy with it.
It
I gotta
just
be
didn't
honest.
feel super necessary as
Yeah.
anything other than
No,
a way to
you're
set
right.
up the third season of The Mandalorian, and you could have done something cooler with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
The stuff that I saw from Book of Boba Fett, I don't think I would have liked the show. I don't.
Like I only ended up liking it because it was so Mandalorian heavy and like all the Luke stuff and everything, because otherwise it was kind of boring. Like I kind of expected more going into it, and the only reason it continued holding my interest was like, okay, fuck, I guess I'm watching this now as a lead into Mandalorian season 3. Okay.
Which it did kind of suck that there was some like big Mandalorian heavy. Like
Yeah.
people are gonna start up Mandalorian season 3 and just be like, "What the fuck
Yep.
is happening? Where'd he get this new boat? What is going on?"
Yeah. Why is Grogu back? What's going on? What? I don't know, but it sucks. Like in retrospect, like that this jump in quality seemingly didn't start until the sequel trilogy was over.
Well,
it's
because
'cause they-
different people were in charge.
Well, because I think they realized that like, oh, people didn't really like how that went down.
Well, they did what they should have done from the beginning, which is take someone that they have a ton of experience working with, which is Kevin Feige, or not Kevin Feige.
Dave Filoni.
No, I'm not talking about Dave Filoni. I'm talking about
Favreau.
Jon Favreau. I couldn't remember. All I kept getting is Happy and Foggy Nelson in my head, and I'm like, those are definitely neither of those are his name. They got him, and they got, which was somebody they were very used to working with, and they brought in Dave Filoni, who was very used to working in Star Wars, and boom, all of a sudden the things they made were an upscale. It's almost as if
Deborah Chow has been an incredible fucking asset for them as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, that's the thing. Like, they're running the TV shows like they do every other Disney project, whereas the Star Wars movies were ran totally weirdly different. And instead of having like a creative person, like a creative director overseeing it, it was Kathleen Kennedy, who was a businesswoman. And it was like, this was almost destined to not go well.
Oh, corporate America.
that's why I wish Kathleen would just answer our emails. You know, we have so many great ideas to offer.
Yeah, I mean, really. They're sitting on a gold mine here.
Are you ready for Forsha, Kathleen Kennedy?
Are you ready for?
Come on, just accept Forsha.
We got Downtime Darth, we got Papa Pelps, we got Forsha, we got Death After Darth. Just hit us up.
Give us the next trilogy.
No,
No.
fuck that. Because then we'd have to come back here and watch our own movies, and that would fucking blow. I barely want to even do the shows that we made up because I don't want to work with Disney. Like, in this fantasy world that we've created, I don't want to fucking work for Disney. Fuck that shit. But the last thing I would do is accept that role.
Do you think they're gonna do when they inevitably get back to movies? And Kathleen Kennedy made a big point of saying, you know, they're gonna try to leave George Lucas's stuff alone and do their own thing,
sure.
and which, you know, she said that, and then Obi-Wan started coming out, and it was like, yeah, that seems like you're getting away from George Lucas stuff for sure. Yeah,
That
that's
was
definitely
code
what we're doing here.
That was code for we're gonna try to give the movies a few years so we can get the same reaction Force Awakens got when the trailer dropped, so that the nostalgia's back. That's
Exactly.
what she was doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
But do you think when they start doing movies again, you think they go into a trilogy format again? Or do you think they release standalone movies?
I have a hard time believing they don't do a trilogy if they're going to go back to film.
But surely they can't call them 10, 11, and 12, right?
They will absolutely do that. 1,000%. 1,000,000%. No, when they go back, which will be like late 2020s, 1,000%, 1,000,000%, 1,000,000,000%, it'll be 10, 11, and 12. Totally.
And like you said, they're banking on stocking up on nostalgia.
See, I don't know. I don't think it'll be a continuation of the story. I think it'll be a new trilogy maybe, but I don't think it'll be 10, 11, and 12.
I think they're gonna do other like side movies.
I don't believe they are. No.
Well, I mean, they wanted to do that Rogue Squadron movie.
Taika
There's a reason
Waititi's still signed on for one.
Yeah, I don't think any of those are going to end up happening. I really don't. It seems like they are quietly trying to shelf any movies that they have right now.
No,
and
the Rogue Squadron one was a completely different issue. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know
was,
what the
I
issue was,
forget-
but
I
it's
forget the
specifically
name
with
of
Patty
the-
Jenkins because
Patty
Patty Jenkins
Jenkins.
dropped out of like 3 or 4 of her movies all at one time.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that they have recently decided, as in the last year, that they're not doing any movies for a while. That anything that they still have, they'll put into, unless they are still contractually obligated, like Taika Waititi, unless they are contractually obligated, I don't think they're doing movies. I really don't. I think they're trying to take an approach where late 2020s they try this again. But I don't.
I think late 2020s are gonna be like. I think they are stepping away from movies, but I think when they do start releasing more movies, it's gonna be side projects. And after a while, they're gonna release another trilogy to get that nostalgia factor that now the prequels kind of have. Because the prequels were fucking panned when they first came out, and now you have all the people like my age, our age, who are all like, oh, the prequels are so great.
This is my thing. Here's what I see, and I'm just some bozo on the internet doing a really bad podcast, so take it with a grain of salt.
Hey, I love our really bad podcast, young lady.
I do too, but it's not a good show, and I'm an idiot. So these are the things that I'm putting together. So
it's a great show, and we're all idiots.
That's true. So here's what I think is happening. I think they didn't know what the fuck they were going to do except greenlight some TV shows at the end of 2019. I don't think they had anything planned except Dave Filoni wants to do a TV show, let's give it to him. And I think everything that's happened since has been following up on things that have succeeded beforehand. I think because all of the movies that were done were planned before that period, I think they've decided that the best way to take advantage of everyone's money is to keep the people that will be Star Wars fans until they fucking die, that will not stop consuming the content, subscribe to Disney Plus, and go into conventions and buying merch and everything. Because you go on their merch page, it's nothing but Baby Yoda all the time. Like, I haven't done Merch Squad much lately because it's just Baby Yoda after Baby Yoda after Baby Yoda after Baby Yoda. Anyway, I think they're going to do that for like another 3, 4, 5 years, genuinely. I think their decision is, rather than try to water the market down with all these side movies and try to make Star Wars like a constant thing in movie theaters, I think they're going to keep making TV shows until they decide that they're going to do 10, 11, or 12, or like a KOTOR trilogy or something like that. And then that'll be late 2020s because they're banking on the nostalgia reaction that everybody had when the trailer to Force Awakens came out. They're banking on the fact that if they wait long enough, the people who... Because the people that have watched the Disney Plus shows are already hooked. When the movies are announced, they're going to watch it. But the people who are just like regular people that have opinions on Star Wars but don't really consume anything, they will find that an incredibly nostalgic thing, and that'll get them through at least one movie, if not 2 or 3. I think that's what the plan is here. But again, I'm just some bozo on the internet.
I almost want to say they probably were looking to shelve the movies, most likely not long after Solo, I want to say.
I think so too.
Because that's when Last Jedi and Solo is when they started to see stuff really fucking bomb because all the white boys were fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
They just confirmed last week, or this past week, that
6 weeks ago.
Donald Glover's Lando project is still happening. It's just that Donald Glover is very busy.
I forgot all about that.
I assume that's going to end up a TV show as well.
Without a doubt.
And plus, Donald Glover writing a TV show of any kind is just like license to print money.
Oh, he's the
I don't
one.
know.
So
He's,
fucking
he's
good.
I don't
doing
know
the
if he's
writing.
writing it.
Okay.
He's not writing
That's
it. Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. He's just
Hey,
playing Lando again.
Oh, fuck that shit. Give him the fucking book. Give him the script. Fuck it. He'd do a great job.
Hey, give it to JJ.
I mean, he would, yeah.
If JJ can do it.
Fucking anything that Donald Glover touches, fucking magic. Do it.
Yep.
Oh.
So we brought up the Gilmore Girls.
So we brought up the Gilmore Girls. That is my favorite segue.
And I mentioned on this podcast that we brought up
the Star Wars podcast.
That we brought up Gilmore Girls on the podcast before.
A few times, if I recall correctly.
Just the once, and it was in a Show Me That AO3. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Show Me That AO3, the segment that we do every once in a while where we collect the most popular tags from the internet's favorite fanfiction website, Archive of Our Own, via our good friend at SWAO3 tags on Twitter, who does the lovely, lovely work of posting out-of-context tags from Archive of Our Own on their Twitter. And we decide to put a bunch up and find which one is fake. Are you ready to play?
Oh, I'm ready.
Always.
By the way, when we brought up Gilmore Girls, it's because the first ever AO3 tag we ever did was, what specifically did it say? The first ever AO3 tag we did, because it's the only one that I've made an edit for, is Dooku is the Emily Gilmore of the Star Wars universe, which is one of my favorite things. All right, so I'm going to read 5 AO3 tags. One of them is fake, and the rest are real. Are you ready?
Always.
Number 1, featuring copious violations of good psychiatry or whatever. Number 2, I consider this to be the feel-good ink of writing fanfiction. Disjointed, but still a bop? Number 3, it's like old married couple bickering, except you got a divorce, except you didn't get divorced because one of you died and the other one just sucks.
Jesus Christ.
Number 4, cock teasery, like tomfoolery but smuttier.
I have a new favorite term.
Number 5, I'm so sorry for the sudden left turn into rimming. One of these is fake.
Holy shit.
Would you like me to
This rotation really is our horny arc. I mean...
I've avoided a lot of horny tags over the year of me doing this. Now I'm just leading into it.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind going through them again.
I can do that. Number 1.
Have my answer, but yeah.
Number 1, featuring copious violations of good psychiatry or whatever. Number 2, I consider this the feel-good ink of writing fan fiction. Disjointed, but still a bop? Number 3, it's like old married couple bickering, except you got divorced, except you didn't get divorced because one of you died and the other one just sucks. Number 4, cock teasery, like tomfoolery, but smuttier. Number 5, I'm so sorry for the sudden left turn into rimming. One of these is fake.
I think 3 is yours.
Which one was 3 again?
3 is, it's like old married couple bickering, except you got divorced, except you didn't get divorced because one of you died and the other one just sucks.
I'm gonna go with rimming.
So you think it's rimming?
I was so excited to see. I
would really like to just put up on our TikTok Ben saying I'd like to go with rimming.
I'd like to go with rimming.
So you're going with rimming. Chris, you're going with it's like an old married couple.
Yes.
Well, Ben, you can tell yourself and Chris you're both wrong because I consider this to be the feel-good ink of writing fan fiction, disjointed but still a bop, is the one that I made up.
Chris, I need to have a conversation with you. We both got that one wrong.
Thank you for informing me.
I have a theory based on recent hearings of these things. I think Ben has won the majority of these.
Yes.
Oh,
I think Ben
Yes, he has.
has me kind of pegged down, so I'm proud that he didn't get me this time. But Chris, you were also right. The divorced one did sound like something I would write. But that was Show Me That AO3. Please go follow at SWAO3 tags on Twitter. They are lovely, 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 and do a fantastic job. They will brighten your morning timeline in a time of darkness.
they are doing the Lord's work.
The Lord's work.
I don't know if it's the Lord's work, but it's someone's
it's the
work.
Lord's
Sure.
work. It's our Lord's work.
Porkins?
No.
Yes.
Sorry, we can't. We legally can't do that.
We legally can't do that.
It was in the Hell Court agreement.
Oh shit. Yeah, we
I don't want to go
can't.
back. I don't want to go back.
Oh, the cease and desist letter just showed up.
That's why we can't use completely ambivalent Sir Alec anymore.
Jay, we're not supposed to.
Fuck! Shit!
Hello there.
God, our lawyer's gonna kill us.
So fucking Last Jedi.
I'd rather
Fucking
not.
Last Jedi.
Chris,
Jay.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy does BB-8 getting thrown down a flight of steps make you happy?
So fucking happy.
I
Fuck that little droid.
Fuck that little droid.
because you didn't bring it up on the live commentary, and I wanted to get like just
That
an
droid.
opinion because apparently we found out in the last rotation that
I
you
hate all
just
the
fucking
new
hate
droids.
BB-8.
I hate
You
all
hate
the new
all.
droids. I hate all the new droids.
I don't
BB-8
know.
sucks. That little fucking Pixar lamp
Yeah.
droid
Oh,
can eat my
Dio.
whole ass. Fuck that little piece of shit.
It's funny though. I like both the droids from the very bad movie Solo and Rogue One. I like both those droids.
Yeah.
Quite a lot actually.
Both very good
I
droids.
Best character in Obi-Wan is the
The loader droid.
the loader droid. Yeah, best character in Obi-Wan.
Well, yeah.
That
Obi-Wan.
loader droid fucking
Two
rocks.
new, very good droids. I like, was it Lola, the little flying drone droid?
Oh
Big
yeah,
fan
I'm
of
not
that.
as big on her, but
I'm on the
that's-
fence about her.
I don't feel very strong. I guess we can say this. We just have to remind ourselves to bring it up on the Obi-Wan episode that's already out. I don't like Lola because Obi-Wan fixes Lola, and I don't believe for a second that Obi-Wan knows how to fix a droid.
I don't want to talk about it too much because we're going to talk about it on the Obi-Wan episode, but
That is already
boy,
out.
am I glad that the show has really carried the torch for droid liberation. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Why does Star Wars just hate fucking droids so damn much?
Because George Lucas didn't think they were human. He didn't think they were sentient. He didn't think of
It's
the
like-
ramifications
I know,
of what
it's-
he did.
Once in a while, it just hits me how close this franchise flirts with the fact that droids, except for in Solo, where they just like threw it in your face.
You could say his idea for 3PO and R2-D2 was based off of a Japanese film.
Yeah, you could say that.
No, this is in fact true.
No, I know. That's why I'm being
Um,
facetious and sarcastic.
that followed two characters
They were peasants, I believe.
that followed two peasants, and I have not seen the movie, but I've seen clips from it.
The Hidden Fortress?
Might be. But essentially it was very similar to how A New Hope opens. And that concerns me because if you combine the fact that he based C-3PO and R2-D2 characters he doesn't think have souls, in his words, with the fact that he created a very racist stereotype of Asian culture with the Cato Nemoidians, when you put the two together, things don't look very good.
So it doesn't paint a great picture of old Georgie boy.
No.
Georgie Boy didn't do a good job of painting a good picture of himself, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
I mean, really, truly, in anything, it's.
Do you think George Lucas did the George W. War Crime Bush thing of just like retiring and going to paint cats? Do you think that's what George Lucas does with his life now?
Is that what Bush is doing?
That's
Be
what Bush does
curious
now.
To,
My God.
be curious to see what George Lucas does in his spare time.
Yeah. I mean, George Bush paints cats with the blood that's from his hands. I don't know what George Lucas does. Can I keep that in? Because I really don't care.
100%.
Yeah.
Enemy of the show.
I had a point. Oh, so like, do you think?
Did you?
Yeah, I'm getting back to it now. Do you think like, because George Lucas originally, after he sold Star Wars, was like, yeah, I have a bunch of like little movies that I want to do, and then he did like that was after the prequels. He was like, I have a bunch of little movies I want to do, and then he did the World War II doc, like not the doc, but the Red Tail. I want to say.
Something like that.
And then he did the fairy movie, which actually I remember liking. I actually like Red Tail well, but I don't know.
I don't remember the fairy movie.
But has he done anything since then? Because I don't think he has.
I don't think he really wants. So. Like he said, he wants to do just tiny projects. I don't think he's really worried about.
I think
putting things into the public domain.
I think he said in 2014 that he just makes movies for himself now, and I don't mean in like the atypical, yeah, like Kevin Smith, like I make movies and I don't care if they do well or not. I mean in like, he meant like, I make movies and they never leave my fucking garage, which is deeply funny.
That is very funny.
I mean, like, I was doing that shit in like fucking 8th grade.
So
me and my buddies with a goddamn camcorder.
Yeah, but you didn't have a means by which to publish. He owned a fucking company.
George Lucas could do anything he wanted right now, and it would be greenlit immediately. Like, George Lucas, if he wanted to, could go to fucking, like, Marvel, and they would just hand him a fucking 5-movie goddamn franchise.
No, I don't know if they would let him do that.
We're getting rid of James Gunn, George. You want to do Guardians?
I don't think they would let that one happen because he has a track record with Marvel movies that is not very strong.
You don't want another Howard the Duck?
You don't want another Howard the Duck? You don't want some duck breasts?
I mean, look, to be perfectly honest with you, I would love another Howard the Duck.
I wouldn't. Although I would take a Swamp Thing, Howard the Duck. Oh wait, no, Swamp Thing's DC. What's the fuck?
Man Thing.
Man Thing. I'd take a Man Thing, Howard the Duck, Disney Plus show. I'd do it because
based on some rumors, we might be getting Man Thing this year in something.
Thing?
Yes, Man Thing. It's just Swamp Thing.
In another thing that's yet to be actually confirmed. God, that's a great
comic. There's some comic fans that are really mad at me right now.
Look, why would you say something so brave and yet so true?
I've read both. I've read a lot of both. They're the same character. I'm sorry, fam.
They're the same character.
And
I mean, DC and Marvel have a track record of doing shit like that.
That's why I think it's funny that, like, Eternals is such a big thing right now. Like, Eternals is a Watchmen situation all over again. No, like, this thing, as far as comics, what they tried to do with Inhumans, where they push them and push them and push them in the comic to try to make them a big thing and nobody liked them, they've managed to succeed with Eternals, and Eternals should not. That's like DC Watchmen shit, but I digress.
Are they doing the Eternals in the comics again?
They're doing Eternals versus Avengers versus X-Men this summer, where the Eternals are coming down from the heavens because the X-Men have figured out how to achieve immortality, and they're like, no, only we can have immortality.
Did something about the movie and the line of Marvel Legends that sat on every retailer's shelf clearance for 5 months tell Marvel nothing? Nobody cares about the fucking Eternals.
Well, the
Eternals wave of Marvel Legends did so poorly that my Target no longer carries Marvel Legends. Like, they got rid of them because that line did so poorly.
I don't know. The comic fans are a big thing now, and I just find it weird. I feel the same way about Eternals getting big all of a sudden as I do when DC decided to bring Dr. Manhattan in to be like their like multiverse solver problem. Like, it's similar things to me. Like, I don't want Eternals in regular Marvel canon, but I digress. We got to
Now
stop
we have
going off of.
talked about everything on this podcast. We're talking about
Yeah.
Howard the Duck, Man Thing, Swamp Thing, and the Eternals. We have officially talked about everything other than Star Wars.
That's such a niche 5 minutes of comic talk that I don't know if it's gonna make it in, but
I had no idea what was happening even.
This is
so
why one of these days we have to just roll on a non-Star Wars podcast and we can just talk about comic books for an hour and a half.
we keep talking about that. So fucking Last Jedi. I know, but we have to.
No, we don't though.
Yes,
we
contractually
did our
obligated.
time. We
We're
did our
contractually
time.
obligated.
We did our time. We
We have
did
not
our
done
time.
our time.
we
We have not
talked
done
about
our time.
we did like a whole 10 minutes.
of an hour-long show.
Yeah, that's 1/6. That's like
I think your
almost
math might
half
be
of a
skewed.
third. Do you think so, Chris?
I don't know.
How many minutes are in an hour, Chris?
Like Jay said, I'm just an idiot on this podcast.
I thought I was the one who had no concept of time.
Could you Chris? Could you repeat how many minutes are there in an hour?
60.
All right.
Yes.
So if we talked about it for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Christ.
How if you had to put it to a fraction?
Hey, look, no, this is where I draw the line. I'm not doing math on this show.
I
A
have
lot
a
of other
note.
things on this show. I'm not doing math on this show. Come on.
I have a note here that I don't understand that I would like to read because
Oh, those are the best kind of notes.
Those are the best
Um,
type of notes.
Do you think Poe phone gad comes from some kind of hobby, like Star Trek holodeck mobster ?
Is Star Trek holodeck mobster a hobby?
I don't know what it means. I wish I could tell you, but it just says this is what. This is one of the
You
notes I
know.
left from last rotation, and I don't know what it means.
You know, you never go in the holodeck on Sunday around noon because LaForge is just in there fighting mobsters. That's just his downtime. We don't know why.
Apparently, I thought this was a very good point.
Now,
I-
Poe totally went into that with like some frat boy energy. He was walking around like, you know, big ego to all the people on the cruiser, like, watch what I'm about to do, guys. This is gonna be fucking great. And it's one of those where it shouldn't work, but it does somehow.
Yeah, but how does he know how a phone gag works? Is my big thing. Like, it's so weird.
It is very weird. There were so many ways this movie could have opened.
It had a better opening, and then they fucked it up.
Oh yeah, it had a great opening until it stopped being a great opening, and when it stopped,
No, like-
boy howdy, did it stop!
They had a completely different cut of the opening that did not have
Oh,
this
I
phone
see.
gag, and it looked great from what I saw. So it pissed me off that we got this. Every adult in this movie fucking pisses me off now after the revelation of what happened with Kylo last week. I fucking hate all of them right now. I hate them so much.
Oh, because that would make everyone else complicit too, who was like
So
around
pissed.
anyone around.
So not only are they complicit in knowing who Rey's father is, all of them, but they're
Rey's
also
father. You mean
or-
Ben's?
or no, Rey's grandfather.
Wait, I'm lost.
Rey's grandfather.
No. I thought you were talking about.
Yes.
No. I thought you were talking
Yes.
about when we found out Kylo Ren didn't know.
Well, I
about-
am, but I'm saying not
It's
only
that
are
too,
they
but
not only are they complicit in not telling Rey what her parentage is, because Han and Leia and Luke knew, but they're also complicit in lying to Kylo for his entire life that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader, his entire life, and we need to.
I don't think Han would have known.
Han knew.
Han
Luke-
couldn't have known.
Luke says it in Rise of Skywalker.
He said Leia knew.
Right, he says it, Ben.
Okay.
I also fail to imagine that. I don't imagine that if they knew, Han wouldn't have known.
Well, what I'm questioning is how Han would have known, because Han met Rey by accident and dies before they had any real time together.
Come on, dude. Even if they didn't explicitly say it in Rise of Skywalker, that they all knew, like, if...
No, what I'm saying is, like, Luke and Leia found out...
Yes.
After each of them trained Rey. Or during each of them training Rey. Which all happens after Han's already dead.
They don't say that at any point, though, that they find out after training Rey. They don't say anything about training. They just say that they knew.
All right, I just kind of felt like that was the implication.
No, the implication was that they always knew, and the implication in Force Awakens over and over and over again is that Han knows. But we didn't know at the time what Han knew, and now we know that he knew that she was a Palpatine. And all these motherfuckers are complicit.
I don't see how The Force Awakens implies it.
Motherfucker just stares at her for long periods of time just pityingly.
He does that with everyone, though.
No, he does not. It's a completely different thing. Chris,
he's either exacerbated with people,
Chris,
or just bewildered with people.
You and I have talked about this on the podcast before, where Han very clearly knows something.
See, it's hard now because... Yeah, watching Force Awakens initially, that's the impression I got. But, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how explicit they've been with the fact that they know she's Palpatine's granddaughter. Like, I don't know at this point what the current canon take on that is.
But Luke says it in Rise of Skywalker. He says it when he comes back as a Force ghost. She's like, but I'm a Palpatine. And he's like, I know. Leia knew. Han knew. We all knew. We're going to lose Ben because I think Ben is bringing up the scene.
I don't remember. That's the thing. Like, I don't remember what the actual wording... we'll find out next week when we watch...
We'll find out next week.
Rise of Skywalker. This will be a nice, fun thing to circle back to. But
either way...
I don't know. Like,
they're all complicit in Kylo's situation.
Well, they're complicit in Kylo, for sure, yeah. The Rey thing is weird because... Much like how the OT feels now, like how weird it feels with the Luke and Leia stuff early on, it's the issue of not actually knowing where this story is going or ending, and we're setting shit up for it. Like, the original plan, the reason Han acts like he knows her is because in the original plan for 9, Han and Leia did know Rey's parents.
Yeah. Because they worked for them.
Yeah.
That was a way more interesting thing, but I digress.
But, now with the current canon, it's like, yeah, I don't know if that's how, if they consider, Han knew, Leia knew. I don't know.
It is not confirmed in any way that Han knew. We know Luke, Leia, Palpatine, Kylo, and Ochi knew.
Okay, well, my headcanon is Han knew, because otherwise Force Awakens makes no fucking sense.
Well, but that's the problem, because again, it was setting up something that never came to pass.
Well, I know, but we now have to try to make sense of those scenes without that context, and the only way those scenes make sense...
I always just read it as Han not realizing that she was, like, Force sensitive and being like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, the thing is, like, Han's relationship with Rey the entire movie is just him, like, trying not to say something. Like, it's him struggling with himself and trying not to look at her because he clearly, like, knows something.
I think it could be read multiple ways, though. I think it could be read as that, or it could be read as he feels sorry for this girl because he saw this with Luke. He knows what's coming. He knows he's going to be dealing with a bunch of shit.
I guess.
Or it could be, he's dealing with some feelings for Luke himself, and she keeps saying, oh, I got to find Luke Skywalker. And he's probably just sitting there thinking, oh, you mean the guy who tried to kill my son and fucking lost my kid, like...
Although it seems like Han wrote off his son way before Luke did.
I mean, Han would be the kind kind of give up sooner than Luke
Yeah.
or Leia would. He's not.
Yeah, but he also strikes me as the type that even though he gave up sooner than they did, blaming Luke for the actual full, like, yeah.
I mean,
don't
how could
know.
you? I hate. I didn't hate the Luke thing in this movie before. I think it all kind of worked. But with the knowledge that Luke, Leia, Han all worked together to keep the information of who Vader was from Kylo
It's
well
so
into his
fucked up.
20, makes the actions of Luke in this movie make no fucking sense to me and actually make me angry.
Yeah.
Because he kept a secret from this boy for years and years and years and years and years, and he has the gall to walk into his room and be like, oh, he's dark side. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think that happened, Luke? Could you have maybe been honest with him? If you had been honest with him, maybe everything would have been fine. Where the fuck is Yoda? Yoda shows up to fucking force lightning a goddamn tree and tell him that he's failed. Why couldn't Yoda show up to fucking force lightning him and say, why aren't you telling this kid the fucking truth?
That's
Although
the
I
other
guess
thing that I kind of dislike about the sequels that I know I've probably brought this up before, and that's how directly involved the Force Ghosts get.
Yeah.
we talked a lot about this last episode, and
Did we?
I was very drunk at the time, but I was trying to express how I really wasn't personally interested in trying to make sense of Force Ghosts in this movie or
I'm not even
the next.
saying like to make sense of them. I just think thematically it feels a lot better that they're just kind of like they don't directly involve themselves, but they do kind of like sow seeds or whatever.
Yeah, I find it incredibly aggravating that like they're involved to this extent but couldn't be involved before. We talked about that last
Exactly.
week. It's
Well,
just
I don't think they do anything particularly different than they do in the OT, other than Yoda striking a tree with lightning, which I just feel is like a play on what, like, just a play on what they're supposed to be, which is like technically like spirits.
When Luke like grabbing a lightsaber.
That is weird, but we're not talking about Rise of Skywalker. I never want to talk
No,
about
I
Rise
know,
of
but it
Skywalker.
fits in with the whole.
You're right. That
I don't know.
bugs me for a different reason, because it's a part of a different symptom of that movie, which
there are many of.
there are many of. It's hard for me to diagnose the problems with Force Awakens and Last Jedi while also including Rise of Skywalker, because Force Awakens and Last Jedi are like, I know we talked about how Last Jedi wasn't really a sequel to Force Awakens. It was. It just wasn't a direction I think anybody, like, the direction wasn't bad, but it was only a follow-up to one group of characters, really. But point is, Force Awakens and Last Jedi is like a part of a trilogy, and then Rise of Skywalker is like, fuck those other movies, we kind of have to do something and do something right now. How can we get as much nostalgia pops as we can in 2 hours? So it's hard for me to diagnose all three movies together, because that is so removed from these ones over here.
Which is, I have a distinct memory of when all the teaser stuff was coming out for Rise of Skywalker, and I had a friend Jay knows, we used to hang out together, and he was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna bring Palpatine back," and I was like, "Oh no, this isn't what you think it's gonna be."
Yeah. It's so hard to diagnose the sequel trilogy as a whole.
Because it wasn't created as a whole. It was created as fragments, and they just shoehorned them together.
It was created as two fragments and an answer or a response to one of those fragments, as opposed to leading to the finale they had already built.
Yeah. Because, like, regardless of, like, how we feel about Last Jedi, like, at least Last Jedi was, like, laid out at a point, like, when you read the Trevorrow script, it's very clear that there have been a lot of conversation not a lot, but enough conversation between the three to have, like, a trilogy that worked together, if not well. so that you can infer that even though it's not always apparent, JJ and Ryan did talk about where they were going with things. And then Trevorrow and Ryan talked a lot more than JJ and Ryan did. Like, Trevorrow followed up on a lot of stuff. So it's so fucking hard to, like, diagnose an issue that's in Force Awakens and Last Jedi and then connect it to Rise of Skywalker because it's so, like, haphazardly disjointed. I don't know. I've been trying to say that same thing for the last 5 minutes, so.
I think we've been trying to say that same thing for the past 2 years.
And we got to talk about that movie next week.
We don't have to.
I know we promised the internet. We legally have to.
We promised the internet.
Promises on the internet are not binding, in my opinion.
We made a binding contract between the three of us when we started this show. Unfortunately, we're stuck with this.
When will I learn not to make blood pacts?
Also, we can't quit on the 98th episode. Just put out the 98th episode and be like...
It would be hilarious.
All right, it would be quite funny.
Hear
what
me
a great
out.
time
Hear me
to
out.
stop.
We could put out the 99th episode, because then I could talk about pod racing one last time.
No, the 100th episode will be pod racing.
Oh my god!
This has been Star Wars every week forever.
No,
Good night.
Jay, you cannot do this.
Good night.
Jay, you cannot do this.
Good night.
To me.
Good night.
Jay.
Good night. Good night.
I'm gonna
Good
cry.
night. Oh my god, he actually looked like he's gonna actually cry.
I am. My tears are welling up. I'm not even lying. Like, legit.
What is going on?
I gotta start making plans.
Oh,
Well, I already have
fuck
plans.
me.
Oh, I know, but I need...
I think we lost him. That's funny as hell. That's so funny. We lost him.
Hello, all you beautiful people, and thank you very much for joining us on yet another week of Star Wars Every Week Forever. We upload every Wednesday around noon on various platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn, and many others. If you have any friends, companions, people you would like to torture with our presence, feel free to send them our way. You know where to find us. If you would like to interact with the show and the various co-hosts, you can find us quite easily on Twitter at SWEWF. We check there very regularly, so it's easy to get a hold of us. And I hope all of you wonderful people have a glorious rest of your day. Until next we meet, may the Force be with you.